So, yeah, this movie's been out for a few weeks now, but I was honestly debating about even reviewing this movie because obviously I think every joke has been made about this movie already. Obviously, there are so many things that are wrong with this movie, but because it is really popular, to make fun of at least, I'm gonna give it a chance. And I'm going to say that this is a terrible movie. This is a really bad movie. I'm pretty much just gonna say a lot of the stuff that people have been saying about this movie, which is also kind of why I was kind of avoiding it. But I need to talk about it because War of the Worlds 2025 is one of the worst movies of 2025. One of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. Really bad, really awful, and it's it's mind-bogglingly bad. And it's amazing to me that no one in the production of this movie thought that maybe they shouldn't release this movie. This movie was sitting on the shelf for over 5 years. It was filmed during COVID when things were locked down, everything was shut down, and the only way you could interact with people was through Zoom calls and such. And basically, they made a movie over Zoom. Now, there have been some movies that did that pretty well. Movies like Searching, I thought was fantastic. But everything about this movie, from the acting to the visuals to pretty much every tiny detail in this movie, is bafflingly bad. I don't know if I want to call it the worst movie of the year. No, I want to call it the worst movie of the year. Like, it is so bad. It is one of the worst things I have seen in a long time. Probably the worst movie I've seen since In the Lost Lands. And, we haven't had a lot of really bad movies this year. We had In the Lost Lands. I hated that Amy Schumer movie on Netflix. There was a Romeo and Juliet movie that I thought was just horrible. But this movie, yeah, this movie's pretty bad. I'm rambling at this point, so I'm just going to dive right in because, man, there's a lot to discuss with this movie. So War of the Worlds 2025 was directed by Rich Lee, and it stars Ice Cube, Eva Longoria, Clark Gregg, and it's another version of War of the Worlds. This time around, it revolves around this guy who works for the government, who's kind of just spies on people through drones and such, and he learns that there's an alien invasion happening, so he tries to protect his family however he can. Except going to see his family and actually trying to protect them. He's just at his computer while everyone else is on their phones and computers and such. Yeah, this movie's stupid. All I heard about this movie was how stupid it was. And I was not prepared for how stupid it was. This movie is dumb. Really, really dumb. Is there anything that's good about this movie? Some people have said that this movie is at least enjoyably bad. I don't know if I can call it that, per se, because for a movie to be enjoyably bad, I need to be laughing at it. And there weren't any times where I was, laughing at it, unfortunately. So that's automatically bad. For example, Kraven the Hunter last year, that movie is awful. But I had such a good time with it that I almost kind of wanted to recommend it as a so bad it's good movie. For a movie to just be bad, I don't have to have any joy from it. I had to either feel anger or nothing at all. And in this movie, it was more nothing at all. Everything about this movie is awful. Like, every single thing about this movie is awful. Every single actor in this movie is awful. Particularly Ice Cube. Ice Cube, why was he cast in this movie? He is so awful in this movie. A lot of the comedy that he has is pretty bad. Maybe unintentional comedy, like a reaction shot that he has, like, oh no, whoa. Yeah, every reaction shot he has in this movie is just awful. And even in the dramatic scenes that he has, they're just pretty bad too. I don't like the interactions he has with his kids. I don't like the interactions he has with Eva Longoria. The kids themselves. Now, I don't find any other actor in this movie to be particularly awful. I just find them more generically bad. And I've blamed the script more than anything and it's blamed the script and the director more than anything because they're the ones who told him, yeah, just do this. And I felt like they weren't written well enough to have any sort of character. Pretty much every other character in this movie is bland, boring, generic. Spoiler alert, Clark Gregg is one of the villains of this movie for reasons. We'll get to that. The visuals themselves, I knew right away this movie was going to be pretty bad. Like when Eva Longoria shows Ice Cube a video of a storm that's happening, it looks awful. Like, did you really have to create like this storm on like I don't know. Like, did you really just create the storm like from a computer or something? I don't know. It looks awful. You could have just gotten an actual footage of a storm, and that would have been more. That would have been actually realistic. I would have believed that more than what you actually showed. The aliens themselves look really bad too. Like the ships themselves look really bad. Like, honestly, I thought to myself, this movie makes me. I'm not a big fan of the Steven Spielberg, Tom Cruise War of the Worlds movie. That movie is now a masterpiece compared to this. Honestly, I would even go as far as to say the Scary Movie 4, which parodied War of the Worlds, is better than this. That is how bad this movie is. It makes me look at a subpar parody movie and go, maybe you aren't as bad as I realized. How amazing is that? Oh my god. Meanwhile, the Amazon product placement. Okay, so this movie was made. I don't think they expected this movie to be made with Amazon. But you could play a drinking game with every reference to Amazon. You probably wouldn't make it through the entire movie. But oh my god, imagine if for some reason a Netflix show, I don't know, Wednesday just came out. Imagine if Wednesday all of a sudden just had drops of Netflix here and there. That would just be embarrassing. This movie is embarrassing with its Amazon twists. Like, not twists, but like Amazon references, I mean. The fact that Ice Cube's daughter's boyfriend works for Amazon. Okay, fine, whatever. But the fact that there's even a picture of him at like a baby shower where he's dressed up in his Amazon gear instead of normal clothes like everyone else in the photo. They also wind up giving a $1,000 gift card to someone during the movie. Oh. Whew. This is embarrassing. It is truly embarrassing. This is one of the few times where I just felt like there was just so much shame on the screen, and no one on camera or behind the scenes felt it. This is appalling. But you can... Now, I don't mind... Also, this movie is very cheap to make. Very cheap. Now, I don't mind... Like, I know a lot of movies can be made for very cheap, and some have done pretty well with that. And I never am thinking about, like, you know, the production costs of a movie like that when I'm watching one. Except if it's a movie as bad as this. This movie looks extremely cheap. Again, the alien invasions themselves look really bad, and at times they kind of like have a lot of the camera movements that are just like, it's just, you know, kind of people running, so it kind of like cuts out at times. Also, like, there are a lot of situations in this movie where Ice Cube is talking to someone that they're wind up in a situation, but then like 5 seconds later, it's like, oh, they're fine, it's normal now, it's okay now. Like, what? How? How is that even possible? Wow. And also, so many cliches in this movie. Ice Cube's wife is dead for reasons just to make him a more strict parent, I guess. He's on this mission to find this hacker, and it's actually someone he knows. It's not just someone he knows, it's his 17-year-old son. This hacker that is going after the government is a 17-year-old kid. How, like... Ice Cube's character is one of the dumbest characters I've ever seen in a movie. And that says a lot. How did he not know that his own kid was this hacker? Like, how did he not know that? Like, how? Also, the reveals of this movie are beyond stupid. Not just the reveal of his son. Again, the villain reveal itself, who is Clark Gregg. Don't see this movie. I don't care about spoiling it. Very generic, and it's very stupid. How? Why? I don't care. I'm like, okay, maybe I am mad while watching this instead of feeling nothing. But my God, even the reveal itself, like why the aliens are here, they're stealing our data. Like our data is their food. This is one of those movies you kind of need to experience because it is so ungodly dumb. It is so shockingly dumb. Like, you knew it was going to be bad. But this is a special kind of bad. A movie that can only be, like, you need to understand how bad this movie is. It's one of those movies, I don't want to say it's like The Room of, like, sci-fi movies and such, but, and again, that would make people watch this movie if I did say that. But there's so many moments in this movie where I'm just, like, at a loss of words over what is going on. And I'm just mad. And I don't get excited for movies that appear on streaming services as much as movies. I heard Chris Duckman kind of say the same thing recently in a review, but I don't get excited for movies that are like straight to streaming and such, because I definitely kind of see like most streaming movies as like being, for lack of a better term, subpar. And Amazon admittedly has made good movies. This is not one of them. This is a straight to Sci-Fi Channel bad. I take that back. Even the Sci-Fi Channel would be embarrassed by this. This is a movie that also has one of the dumbest reoccurring jokes with an easy button, like Ice Cube goes boom and it goes, that was easy. Yeah, I thought that was easy button was funny too when I was like 13. This movie sucks. It is bad. It is bafflingly bad. It is worse than you think. Even like when I was starting to think about like how I was going to review this thing, I was thinking this review's not going to be that fun, because like I'm pretty much saying all the other things that people are saying about this movie. But it's kind of like what the tagline says of this movie, it's worse than you think. This movie is atrociously bad. This movie is bafflingly bad. Why did anyone think this movie would be a good idea? Again, it was made during quarantine, so did everyone who was involved in this movie just read the script, and they were just so locked up in their houses for a while that they were like, okay, this is good, let me get out of the house. No, this is so bad. Like, that's the only logical explanation that I can see for people signing up for this, and that's probably the most logical thing about this movie. This movie is awful. You should not view this movie. Honestly, I wouldn't even go as far as to say it's not even fun. Like, it just makes me mad. It just makes me bored. I just, for a movie to be so bad it's good, I need to be laughing along with it. I mean, admittedly, I was kind of laughing along at some of the things I was saying, like, again, a lot of the Amazon references, but my God, War of the Worlds 2025 is appallingly bad. It is one of the worst movies of the year. I said in the Lost Lands review that if this is not the worst movie of the year, I'm in for a world of hurts or world of shit. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I did not expect this. I did not expect a movie like this. I will give War of the Worlds 2025 0 out of 4 stars. Skip it. There is just no joy in this movie. Even, like, I just don't understand the whole, I watched it and it's awful, but it's so awful that it's hilarious. Even I can't even pinpoint that. That is, like, at least Craven had that. But this movie doesn't. It doesn't. So, what was the last really, really awful movie you saw? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat. Stay safe. That was easy.